What is going on, Nathan Valley? How you doing, brother? Today we're going to be talking about what do you do when you can't find the number of someone that you're skip tracing. I know you know about that. We all know about that. What's up?
Yeah, guys. I mean, it's a lot more common than we might think, right? To where we've got an address, right? We pulled a list. Maybe it's a really motivated, highly targeted list, and oh man, we skip traced it, and we're not able to get an answer. We can't find the right person, or whatever the case may be. 99% of people are just going to move on, right? They're not even going to mess with it. But guys, there's a gold mine hidden in here, right? Especially because these are deals that nobody else is going after, right? If somebody's hard to get a hold of or hard to find, a lot of times that can be, kind of a gift in disguise for you.
Exactly. So again, we're going to dive right into it. So if you guys are watching this, we promise you by the end of this, you're going to know exactly what steps to take if you skip trace someone and you can't get a hold of them just off that initial skip trace. But if you were watching this and you don't know who we are, my name's Nathan Payne, done several deals, been doing this business for about 7 years. And I love teaching people how to get better and more efficient and more effective because it's all about quality over quantity, in my opinion. It's stupid to just go hammer the just a bunch of leads that you don't even know if they want to sell. There's a better way to go about this. That's who I am. Nathan Valley, who are you?
Yeah, guys, my name is Nathan Valley. I've been wholesaling for about five plus years. I really got to do the math because I feel like I've been saying 5 years for like 2 years now.
I know, same.
But yeah, been done a bunch of deals, bunch of different states. 99% of everything I've done has been virtual. Known for locking up over 100 contracts in a single year, known for doing a 30-day challenge to where I did a $20,000 deal in 30 days in a brand new market without spending any money on marketing. Yeah, it's a little bit about me.
I love it. All right. Well, again, if you guys are watching this, give us a like, subscribe, and we're going to dive right into these tips. All right. Actually, just wait to like or subscribe. Let's do the tips first and see if you even like them. All right. So tip number 1, all right, is again, Nathan Valley is saying that's good news sometimes. Okay. So that is kind of good news. You know, if you can't get a hold of them, that means that a bunch of the other companies that are hammering these leads are they're not going to be able to get a hold of them. Okay. So when you do skip trace, I know with batch leads, by the way, they do free skip tracing. Now, if you guys want to try it, just DM me, hit me up on Facebook or in our Facebook group, Payneless Flipping Free Facebook group, and I'll send you the link where you can literally get 100 free skip traces in your trial period. And then after that, it's free skip tracing if you stick with batch leads. But anyway, a lot of the time when you skip trace, you do get, maybe you won't get their phone numbers, but you'll get an email. Okay. So check if you get an email, try it out, see if it works. And sometimes you don't get an initial phone number from the person, but it does find some phone numbers from like relatives or people that might be related to them. So you can call the relatives. And this, like, let's give an example of pre-foreclosure. If you have someone if you're calling the pre-foreclosure list and their number isn't popping up, but maybe a relative is, call the relative or who the numbers are associated and say, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of John. Do you know John Woodman or whatever? Do you have his phone number? Do you know if a way I can get a hold of him? I specialize in helping people in pre-foreclosure get out of it or sell their homes, trying to see if I can reach them and help them out. And if they don't want to give you the information, I mean, you're not going to be able to force them to give you the phone number. Just ask, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, with family, it's funny because family members, I don't know if I want to call up old Grams and hey Grams, so your son is in pre-foreclosure, right? But what you can say is, hey, I've actually got something. I've got something important here that I was looking to get to them. Do you know a good way I could potentially get hold of them? You can say, hey, it's nothing bad. Like, don't worry, I promise. Like everything's all right. If they ask what it is, you'd be like, hey, it is kind of personal. But totally understand. If you're a little hesitant to hand that off. But that's one way to do it. But emails one. What do we got? We said check for relatives. And guys, there's a lot of different ways. We'll keep going through the list and then we'll kind of circle back to it.
Number 3 is if you can't get a hold of them through the relatives or checking their email and information didn't pop up, I would go knock on the door if you're in that local market, right? If you're not in that local market, maybe this is a strategy that you're implementing a lot. So it would be nice to network with someone that is boots on the ground, that is willing to knock and get paid like a commission off of deals that they do through doing this process. But anyway, and by the way, this list that we're doing a highly motivated targeted list, not an absentee owner list. Obviously, you're not going to go knock on the door absentee owner. They don't live there. But I'm talking about like not giant lists. You want to really narrow it down, but you want to knock on the door, and you want to talk to them about, why you're there, right? I personally like to say, hey, notice that you're in pre-foreclosure. I have multiple options to help people stay in the property if they want, or to get out of it. I do a more of a direct approach. Some people are just like, hey, I'm in the neighborhood looking to buy properties, wonder if you'd be willing to sell. You can do whatever you want. Just when you knock on that door, a lot of the time they do not answer. Okay. Maybe they just don't want to talk to you, but they're usually home. So what did I usually do? I don't just knock on the door and leave. I usually leave a yellow note, or a pro tip is get a priority mail from USPS. It's that little package that looks cool and you get it. You're like, ooh, someone sent me something really important. You can get that for free, leave a note inside, and the response rate of that is much higher because they're like, ooh, this is important. Okay. So you can leave that on the door, like maybe in between like the glass door or just on the front. They'll open it, right? Because everybody wants to open up a package, it's priority. It's exciting. And if they do not answer and you leave that, another pro tip is knocking on the neighbor's door next door, or, the people right around there, and just saying, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of John. Do you know if he still lives there? What's the situation with that? But going to the home actually is really beneficial because, a lot of people that are in pre-foreclosure, it's because someone has passed away. So you're like trying to get a hold of someone that is obviously you're not going to be able to get a hold of until you go there and you find out what the scenario is. But anyway, that's tip number 4. Nathan, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, with door knocking. So I'm a big fan of do something that stands out and adds value up front, right? So you're able to kind of check off a lot of boxes to kind of stack the chips in your favor. So, rather than just knocking, saying, hey, are you interested in selling your home? Especially if it's pre-foreclosure, to where everybody's banging down this person's door, they're blowing up their phones and, hey, you got to pay these bills, or can I buy your home, or can I do this, can I do that? Instead, I was actually just talking to one of our clients the other day about this. Guys, I would personally, especially when it's a really highly targeted list. Again, this isn't a list of like 10,000 absentee owners. This is a really highly targeted list of maybe pre-foreclosures or something along those lines. Go to the house, like bake some cookies. Dude, like saran wrap individual cookies. If you knock on a door and you are holding a plate with cookies, the chances of them opening up the door for you are going to be 1,000 times higher than somebody that's got like the polo tucked in clipboard and looks like a real estate investor.
Bro, you got the Little Caesars hot and ready. You just hold it. They're answering when you got the Little Caesars hot and ready.
And the other cool thing is you can knock on their door, and when you knock on the neighbor's door, hey, I actually just had these, if you're knocking on the neighbor's door, hey, do you know, does such and such live here? I've got this delivery of cookies for them, which is true, right? And then you just so happen to, boom, while you're there, you give them a cookie, right? And then you can also, hey, here's some options on how to help with pre-foreclosure. Hey, just wanted to deliver you some cookies. Just wanted to say, here you go. If you ever, are considering selling your home, hey, that's kind of what I do. Feel free to reach out. Right.
Leave a cookie in that priority mail. Yeah.
Right. And so now you're getting the response. You're adding value up front. You're hitting on the law of reciprocity. Right, guys, good. These things stack in your favor.
I never even thought of that.
How much is a thing of cookies,
It's a good idea too. We just had Halloween. Like, I'm sure a bunch of you have Halloween candy laying around. Like, just tape a piece of Halloween candy to like the little note you leave. Like, that's gonna make it stand out than anything else. So,
dude, or just dress up and go trick or treating. Be like, oh, did I miss it? I'm so sorry. Trick or treat. You want to sell your home?
That's right. Well, now listen, guys, if you've gone through all that and you still can't get a hold of them, what I would say is, and this is what most marketing companies do, is they just understand that mailing over time usually wins. Maybe their people aren't ready to accept, to sell at that point, or they're not ready in that situation, mailing overtime consistently to a motivated list is a good strategy. Okay. Whether that's probate, pre-foreclosure, whatever you're doing, but mailing consistently is good, because then they get these mailers and they're like, oh, okay, you know what, when their time is ready, a lot of people keep them. But I'm not about mailing a giant list, because it's way too expensive. It's way too expensive to mail like a shotgun list that you're just trying to hit everybody. You want to target and mail over time the motivated people, and they will call you and it will work. So guys, these are the tips on how to get a hold of someone who, when you skip trace them, you don't get their number. Go through this process. I promise you, if you go through this process, you're going to be getting a hold of more people. And like I said, thanks to Batch Leads, you're able to do a lot of this process. You can do the mailing, you can do the skip tracing. It gives you the emails. If you don't get the initial phone number, it's got the relatives. Obviously, the knocking and asking the neighbors, that takes a little bit of time. But also with Batch Leads, it's a driving for dollars app as well. So you can, while you're driving to go knock, you can see other homes that look distressed. You can mark them. That's something that we also suggest to our clients is, if you're going to knock, you might as well hit some, mark some of the houses that look like they're distressed along the way. And then you have a motivated list as well. Because we all know, if, homes are distressed and you're doing anyway, that's a good list to have.
The cookies, though, you're going to have to make those yourself. That's the only downside.
Yeah, man, that's true. But no, that's actually an extremely good idea. I've never thought about that just because of the time, but like, I'm sure you could make it work, like where you could go get them from like the Dollar Tree or something, get some old
and
cookies.
The one principle that kind of we're really hitting on here, guys, is get quality over quantity. It is worth spending the extra time, the extra effort, the extra money, if necessary, on going after the list that's most motivated, going after the most qualified list, right? Because I can pull a list of people that own a house, they've owned it for X amount of years, and they have a certain number of equity. Okay, well, that's not really a highly motivated list, so that's going to be a lot of people to kind of have to filter through. But something like a pre-foreclosures, there is a ticking clock, right? Whether not from you or anybody else, they need to do something about their situation or their property. So it is worth kind of spending that extra, and especially if they are hard to get a hold of. They're hard to get a hold of for everyone else. And guys, 99% of people are not going to go any further than calling that first number and then moving on. So right. This is, especially when you're just getting started. I know a lot of people talk about competition. Guys, this is how you compete with competition, right? The huge, massive companies, the hedge funds, the big company, like, oh man, how do I compete with these massive companies doing hundreds of deals a year? This is it. They can't do these things. They can't do the unscalable thing.
That's right.
You can, and this is how you can get started. This is how you can get deals that they can't, and how you can get really profitable, really juicy deals right off the bat. Do the things that they can't do. They can't door knock with a plate of cookies.
I know.
Right?
No, that's a great idea.
They're not having someone go through this whole checklist for every single property. So I encourage you guys to do that. Man, I think that's all we got.
That's all we got, everybody. If you like this, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, follow us for more. We got bunch more tips on this. We're all about quality over quantity. Go to paynelessflipping.com if you guys need help working some deals, or if you want to work in an apprenticeship environment where you can work with someone that will work with you hands-on versus just jumping into a community where like you feel like you're lost with all the information. That's not what we do at Payneless Flipping. We're here to help you, and yeah, check us out. All right, Nathan Valley, thanks for your time, bro. Thanks for everyone popping on, and we'll catch you guys later.
Later, guys.